I've talking to a lot of leaders, even I guess even more so before COVID, but it's so much after. A lot of different businesses have had a difficult time finding folks who really wanted to work. Have people been just like you said, golf's been on people's minds? Has that helped as far as employment goes, or has that been a challenge as well?
Yeah, great question. So right around COVID, I would say 2019, 2020, and 2021, it was very difficult to find staff, to find the necessary pieces of the puzzle to make sure that we're keeping at our standards. And it was a struggle there for a while.
Hey guys, welcome to the Troy Grayling Podcast. As always, it is incredible to get to hang out together. This is a unique time. I'm not sure when you're watching this, but we're just a few days where there's a hurricane. Actually, it's a long ways from where I live, but it's been a long time since we had one. So people tend to freak out a little bit here, and praying that all works out up north. But today we are at a very unique place. We have a golf tournament coming up to help our school go all the way through high school. So we're really excited about that, to be able to impact young people and the next generation. And we really work hard at that. And this is just one of the ways in which we're doing that. What better way than to actually play golf? And today we're in for a treat because we actually have the general manager of Jack Aranda, did I say it right?
That's correct.
Jack Aranda Golf Course, and his name is Andrew Michael. Welcome to the podcast. Good to see you.
Thanks, Pastor Troy. Glad to be here.
Yeah, it's an honor to have you. And so I thought we'd talk just a little bit about the role you have and the leadership skills and other aspects that you've kind of developed over time, and see where it goes from there. And then eventually we'll get to the tournament itself. But I was thinking as I was thinking about our opportunity to talk. And so you tell me if I'm wrong or where I'm wrong at. I was thinking, so what does a golf course, I guess, do you call it a course? Is that what the whole thing's called? Have to do? And I think, well, you have to, one is take care of the course, right? That's what most people, at least originally come here to be a part of. So you have to take care of the course. Then secondly, you have to take care of the members, what makes this place unique and special. And then I would assume that, and I don't know how much, because the course has been here for a while, you have to recruit new members as members, or maybe you have a waiting list. What other aspects of the organization, I guess, or the business itself are involved?
Yeah, so, our philosophy at Jack Aranda, we base ourselves on creating the best course conditions and providing the best customer service that we can. That's our philosophy. That's where we start. How do we do that, right? So it starts with every single employee at Jack Aranda. Everybody has a role, right? And as general manager, it's my job to make sure everybody is fulfilling their role and making sure that they're doing what they need to be successful. Not always the easiest thing to do, but I believe that empowering employees and giving them the skills needed to be successful in their role is what it's all about. And it's my job to get out there and make sure that they have the necessary resources to be successful, and at the same time, enjoying it. That's what it's all about. We have, I think, over 70 employees here at Jack Aranda, and everybody has a different role, like I said, and they have to enjoy what they're doing. And if they're not enjoying one particular role, can we move them to a different role where they can enjoy that? And just by being happy and enjoying coming to work, that's going to bleed into the customer service that they provide the customer. And I think that's the biggest foundation that we have here at Jack Aranda and how we're so successful.
Yeah, I think a lot of times you don't think about all that's involved in a golf course. I mean, you think about the course and what kind of shape it's in, but you think about the banquets and the food aspect of it. You think about the store itself, as far as the revenue. And I am sure when it comes to food and the merchandising or that those revenue streams, if they're are incredibly important to be able to create the kind of course that you can be proud of.
Absolutely. I mean, every aspect of a golf club or golf facility is important, right? So if they have a great experience on the golf course and they come in and they go to the pro shop, want to buy some merchandise, and you don't have creative selection, or if it's too expensive, whatever the case may be, they're going to notice that. And then if they go to the restaurant to have a beer or eat some food afterwards, food's not that good, or the service isn't there, that bleeds into the experience as well. So it's not just golf itself, it's the entire experience here. And that's what our job is, to create the best experience from start to finish.
Now, in your business, do you look at number of members, the number of rounds played? What are the numbers that you look at to see what direction you're going?
Yeah, so every golf course is slightly different, right?
Okay.
So Jacaranda, we're a 36-hole facility, and we're labeled as a semi-private club. So we do have members. We have close to 200 members, but we also welcome the public. And it's creating a balance between having members and welcoming the public when, they come down to play during the winter time, or for the residents that play during the summer. It's just making sure that everybody has that same experience through and through. There are other clubs, there are strictly private clubs that are just full of members, and then there's strictly public courses that just welcome, your average golfer off the street there. So we're in a unique situation to where we're kind of a blend of both, and having two golf courses here just kind of skyrockets us through and through. So it's a pleasure to be here.
And I would imagine that in some sense, that's a challenge. I mean, it's so challenging because it's two groups of people. You've got those who are members, and with that comes a certain expectation. And then those who are, renting the course per se.
Correct. Absolutely. The members here, everybody is an integral part of the success of Jacaranda. So making sure those who are committed to Jacaranda through and through for the year, making sure their tee times are present for them, communicating with them, letting them know when we have tournaments so they can find other golfing plans at different courses in the area. Just being involved and being upfront with them and communicating is the key, and that keeps them connected with the club, and it really creates a lot of value for them as members.
Yeah, because I would think you'd have to communicate quite a bit to help them even, because if I'm a member here, helping me understand the important role that, the guy that is in front of me irritated me, that he's important to me being able to enjoy the golf that I enjoy in the situation and the environment.
That's exactly it. It's making sure everybody who's on that golf course is playing at the correct pace, playing. You treat everybody as a member almost, mm-hmm. and just providing that service will help the entire experience. And whether you're a member or you're coming down from the Northeast to play in the wintertime, paying a high dollar rate, you gotta provide that service in those course conditions.
So now how do you deal with, because not only do you have members and non-members, but then you also have good golfers, and you have learning golfers, and then you have bad golfers, and there's an etiquette to golf. There's, how do you deal with that?
Yeah. So, Jacaranda being 36 holes semi-private, we're getting all different types of levels of play, right? So, a lot of the times, through the initial booking process on the phone, we'll ask the necessary questions to see what level they're at, or you can just kind of tell from the conversation if they're a beginner golfer. And if they are, we kind of explain to them, okay, here are the expectations, here's the etiquette. This might be new to you. If so, we're going to suggest that you might play in the afternoon after 4:00, because we don't get that much play after that period of time. You can go out, take your time, really learn the game without pressure of people being behind you. So dealing with golfers that way, better players, they'll come here and play, and we'll suggest, okay, if you're a scratch golfer, you're definitely going to want to play probably the East course. It's a little bit longer, a little bit more challenging. So we'll communicate, explain, the type of experience that they're going to be anticipating out there. So it's just, like I said, it's just being able to communicate with the customer and figuring out where they fit.
Because so you got the member, the non-member, you got the different skill ability, but then you also have speed of play. Yep. I know sometimes I've played with older folks, they hit it and they go, they hit it and they go. Others, they're looking at their yardage and all those kind of things. So you just, lots of opportunity, especially in 2024, where everybody's always on edge, for there to be challenges, I would imagine all the employees carry some sense of responsibility to make sure that doesn't happen. But who carries a lot of that weight of helping the flow, kind of greasing the wheels and making sure that all of those, that diversity is actually able to enjoy golf day after day?
Yeah, great question. So it starts from the beginning, the booking process, going through our delivery of, okay, if it's a foursome or if it's a group of 16 that are coming down for a bachelor party, getting a feel what they're coming to Jacaranda for, and then explaining, hey, look, we have a 4-hour and 10-minute pace of play. Here's what we expect. If for some reason you guys fall behind, we're going to ask you to pick up the pace. If that doesn't happen, we're going to ask you to skip a hole. And that's the last thing that we want to do, but we have to keep the integrity of the time for everybody else to where it needs to be. And if that doesn't happen, and if we don't stay up on that, that's where you start to get a big uprising, I guess, with the people that are playing out there, because it's taken over 5 hours to play. Mm-hmm. And nobody wants to do that. Everybody has to get to different places. And so it starts from the beginning, and then day of, it's through the process. The person's going to get to the starter's booth. The starter is going to explain to them, welcome to Jacaranda. Here we have a 4-hour and 10-minute pace of play. Please keep up with the group ahead of you. And then when they get out on the golf course, we have our course marshals out there. So they're going to go out and kind of keep pace or keep track of your pace. And if you start to fall behind, they'll let you know. And then we'll continue that process. And most of the time people do pick up the pace and it works itself out. But there are other times where I have to go out there and kind of diffuse the situation. But that's what you get sometimes, especially with these bachelor parties that are coming down to have a good time. You know? So it's just really communicating with them and making sure they know their expectations. Right.
I can imagine that everybody comes for a different purpose sometimes on the course. And now, is there alcohol on the course?
Yes, plenty.
So that's another opportunity for challenges, I imagine, along the way.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, they'll start out okay on the front nine, everybody's playing well, and then as the drinks start to flow, the back nine is where things start to slow down a little bit and get a little out of focus. But again, we anticipate that and we do our best to stay on top of it as much as we can.
Well, the times that I've played here, I know it's been a lot better than the airline industry does.
Right, yeah.
Because they get behind and they don't communicate, and it could be, you see lots of explosions there on the air. And the last two flights that we've been on, the police have been called.
Oh man.
So
that's brutal.
People are now. Have you noticed? And we'll talk about how you've just kind of been taking on this role. But have you noticed since COVID, are people more on edge, or have you guys not really noticed?
We've seen a big difference since COVID. COVID really opened the door for the golf business, right? So everybody wanted a place. They wanted a sanctuary to go outside and spend a lot of time. Obviously, that was the safest place to be. And what better way than a golf course? You're out there for 4 hours. You're there with your friends. So we saw such an uptick in people learning the game, wanting to play more. And with that came its challenges because a lot of people would just start hitting balls on the range and then go out and play. So they didn't know the etiquette. They didn't know what was proper, what wasn't. And they're learning through trial and error, right? So when they get out there and they're doing something they're not, we're coming up to them, trying to explain to them as nice as we can, hey, look, pace of play is this, or you can't be driving your cart there, or you guys shouldn't be driving these carts recklessly out here, whatever the case may be.
Racing.
Right, exactly. Whatever it may be, they're learning as they go. And we've seen such an uptick in that since COVID, and it's been a challenge. And there are a lot of people that aren't open for criticism, if you will.
Hey guys, I wanted to take a moment because I got so caught up in listening to Andrew's story. I forgot to tell you about the tournament itself. It is November the 16th, okay? It's here at Jacaranda. Beautiful, beautiful course. I'm going to be here, and you're going to have to be pretty good to take me out. Now they're laughing as I say that because I'm not a great golfer, but on that day, you know what they say? I haven't played in a long time. And when you come back after not playing a long time, you have like a dream game. That I'm not going to practice. I'm not going to do anything because my dream game is going to be there to beat you. It's November the 16th. It's right here at Jacaranda, and you can go to potential.golf and register. Help us build a high school to make a difference in the lives of the next generation. Now, let's get back to Andrew's story.
They're not looking for help.
Exactly. So yeah, it's definitely been a challenge post-COVID, but it's been great for the golf business. I think before COVID, golf was struggling for a while. The Tiger Woods effect back in 2000, that was a huge boom for the industry and then slowly faded. And COVID just brought everything back to life. So we're truly blessed to be in this position. It's definitely manageable. But it's completely different than what it was.
It's still stress.
Yes.
Good stress or bad stress.
Exactly.
It's still stress in that sense. Now, let's talk for a moment as you think about leading something as complex as the whole golf club, golf course. Do you do you have different folks who lead in the different areas as far as the different revenue streams and responsibilities? How do you guys kind of organize yourselves to be able to lead something as complex as this?
Yeah. So in each department, we have a department head, right? So in the maintenance department, we have a superintendent. He oversees the entire maintenance facilities, all the scheduling, everything that we need to have great course conditions. He's looking over. We have our golf operations department. That's where I came from. I was the director of golf and then obviously promoted to general manager. So the director of golf is there to oversee the entire golf operation. So that's the pro shop, the merchandising, everything that happens on the golf course. The director of golf is the point man. And then we have food and beverage. And Jacaranda is unique in itself where we lease out the food and beverage department. So Mike Reed and crew, they've been here for over 30 years. They're family to us. But he's the one that oversees everything for the food and beverage side. And then we have our administrative offices. We have Casey Andrews. She's our CFO for our company. And then we have Kathy Gausa. She's our director of membership and marketing. And then Joe D'Angeli, he is our tournament coordinator. So he takes care of all the 100+ tournaments that we have each year. So a lot of department heads. It's just super important that everybody works together and does their job. And if everybody's doing it, it's a success.
Now, do you meet with just the department heads every so often, or do you have total staff meetings where you guys get together?
Yep. So I would say every 2 weeks, all the department heads get together just to go over, what's coming up, review some different tournaments that we had or different functions that we've had in the past. And then as far as the individual staff members, our bag staff, rangers, starters, pro shop staff, we'll do a meeting quarterly to go over, what's been good, where can we improve, are there any additional resources that I need to provide for them to be successful? So having these constant meetings and being connected to everybody is definitely important for the success of Jacaranda.
And what would be the entry level positions at a golf course?
Yeah, so from the golf operations side, where you're looking at guest services or the bag staff, we have our starter position, and then our course marshals or rangers. That's kind of the entry level. You're on the front lines there. You're dealing with the customers every single day. The bag staff, they're there to, provide service as soon as you get on property, take your bag, put it on the cart. And then when you're done playing the round, they'll greet you and, ask how your day was, clean your clubs, and help you back into the car or wherever you're going from there. Starter's position is there to kind of direct everybody to the first tee, make sure everybody's getting off at the right time. And then our course marshals or rangers, they're out there just making sure the pace of play is going. So that's kind of where the baseline is. And then we have our pro shop assistants. They'll be in the pro shop checking everybody in. I have two full-time assistants, Brian Sienkiewicz and Gino Piccolo, who are both PGA members, and they're working full-time in the pro shop, but they also do a lot of our teaching, helping people get better. And then Brian is our merchandiser, so he does a great job in the pro shop, keeping all the brands up to date and make sure we're full at all times.
I've talking to a lot of leaders, even more so before COVID, but so much after. A lot of different businesses have had a difficult time finding folks who really wanted to work. Have people been just like you said, golf's been on people's minds? Has that helped as far as employment goes, or has that been a challenge as well?
Yeah, great question. So right around COVID, I would say 2019, 2020, and 2021, it was very difficult to find staff, to find the necessary pieces of the puzzle to make sure that we're keeping at our standards. And it was a struggle there for a while. I would say in the last year and a half, 2 years, I'm receiving more resumes. I'm getting more interest in people wanting to work in the golf business, which is a huge plus. So it's been a blessing the last 2 years, and for a while there it was a little struggle.
Right.
Yep.
And especially I would think in South Florida, one, you guys have a lot of competition. I mean, there's a lot of golf courses down here. And then secondly, it just costs a lot to live here.
Yes.
And not every position pays the same. So, for folks to get started, sometimes that can be incredibly challenged to continue the kind of service and excellence, that I know in the ministry church, that's a challenge, if you bring somebody in, especially from somewhere else, and it's like, how much does it cost to live here? How much is insurance? And I'm ignorant on this. When it comes to the golf course itself, I know they're like city courses that the city's in charge of. Like, who owns this? Like, how does that work in golf courses in general?
Yeah, so Jacaranda is privately owned. Jim McLaughlin is our sole owner.
Okay.
They're based out of Scratch Golf is based out of Bristol, Virginia, and he started Scratch Golf 30 years ago. And at one point, he owned, I think, 10 to 15 golf courses up and down the East Coast. Now he's down to 4, Jacaranda Golf Club, Hilton Head National, and then Craft Farms and Peninsula in Gulf Shores, Alabama. So it is privately owned, and it is such a blessing to work for him. He provides the necessary resources for us when we need it. And I think that's the biggest key in the golf business is, hey, it's not cheap to run, but if we do need the resources and we show why, he's there to provide them. So it's very nice to have that.
So it's like any other business in that sense. It's got an owner and it goes forward that way. Yeah. And then I would imagine it's a blessing for you to work with someone who has got so much experience, because as you were telling me a few moments ago, you're just a few months into this new role. So let's talk about you just a little bit. Would general manager often be held, I would assume because you came from golf operations, golf is in your blood. So is that normal, or could someone or do people sometimes become general managers who aren't golf people?
Yeah. So I would say that from my experience, most courses, especially private, those who are general managers actually come from the food and beverage side of things. So it's definitely different here at Jacaranda coming from the golf side rather than food and beverage. But I think it's a positive, right? So I know exactly how the golf operations run, familiar with maintenance. I'm not an expert on it, which I'm beginning to learn. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, just the fact that I've been around golf for so long makes that transition a little bit easier, at least for Jacaranda. But like you said, having such a great company to work for, they're a great resource to use if I have any questions or if I need guidance. They're there to help. So that's terrific to have.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. Did you grow up in South Florida? Are you married? Do you have kids? Did you play golf in college? When did you get into the golfing scene?
Yeah, so I'm originally from upstate New York, Saratoga Springs area.
And where all the water comes from.
Exactly, right. Saratoga spring water. Absolutely.
Do you all serve that here?
No.
Oh, no. Have to make a change.
No. I gotta look into that for sure. Represent. Yep. So yeah, I graduated high school in 2002, and I went to Eckerd College in St. Pete, Division II school, played golf for them, got a business management degree, and then didn't know what I wanted to do out of college. So my best friend, he lived in Philadelphia at the time, and he's like, come up, live with my parents, and start working at the golf course that they're members at. So I did that and found that I loved it, right? So I would summer up in Philadelphia, and then in the winter I would come down to Jacaranda, and I would work part-time bag staff doing the range, and the rest of the time I'd play golf. And I did that for about 3 years. During that process, I wanted to actually become a teaching professional. My goal was to go out and teach all the tour players. So I was like, I got to move down to Florida. That's the mecca of golf, right? So I got to get down there and showcase myself. So I was like, okay, Jacaranda is a good place to start. Started teaching, and then at the time the head pro got promoted to GM, and he came up to me and was like, hey, I want you to be my head pro. At the time I was 27. At that time the golf business wasn't doing too well, so I was like, you never get this opportunity, I have to take it. So I did. That was in 2011, and was head pro / director of golf all the way up until this year. So, wow. Yeah, it's been great. And met my wife here. She is born and raised in South Florida, and she owns her own dog training company. So, yeah, it's been great. We're expecting our first child in February of 2025.
Congratulations.
So very exciting. Yep. Thank you. So a lot's been happening.
Wow. All going in the right direction.
All going in the right direction. Yep.
That's a dog training business. So, yeah. So we'll put the link below so folks, everybody needs a dog training. But the good thing is she's never going to lack for clients. That's for sure. No, she's tremendous. She's definitely a dog whisperer. So now, do y'all have dogs at home?
We have a dog and a cat.
Oh, so now who's the cat person?
She's the cat person. I was never a cat person until we got this cat. And so his name is Cheech. And she actually, she did all of her dog training certification out in Austin, Texas. And that's where she found Chi-Chi out there and brought him home. And he's actually an indoor-outdoor cat. So it makes life easy. And cruises, he's a Greater Swiss Rottweiler mix. So yeah,
so he's pretty good size.
He is a good size. Yeah. But they're both a joy to have around the house.
That's incredible. Well, let me just ask you this: what has most surprised you as you've taken on this new role?
Just the I guess just being involved with all aspects of the club, right? So balancing my time between golf operations, maintenance, food and beverage, clubhouse maintenance, being involved with administration, tournaments, of just balancing everything and making sure that we're covering what we need to to be successful. So it's just getting used to that. And on top of that, trying to be involved as much as I can with the employees,
Right.
and getting their feedback. I don't know everything. They're on the front lines. They're here for a reason. So trusting their input and trying to implement as much as we can to keep changing as time goes for the better.
How you dealing with, because you go from golf operations, right, where this is here, you care about the whole club because you've come up from, like you said, just checking golf bags. But now you don't just have opinions about things, you're responsible for everything. And so, that it's one thing to look over there and say, man, somebody needs to paint that wall. Now you've got to find the person and the money and the budget and all of that. And so there's just an emotional weight to that.
Yes.
Have you found successful ways in which to deal with some of that? Are you still trying to figure that out? Or
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure that out, and it's getting better and better. It kind of all hit me at once, and I didn't anticipate that weight being so heavy, right? And but just by going through it, I'm learning what works and what doesn't, and having the support team, having everybody here at Jacaranda, having corporate to lean on, is making that much easier. But yes, that is quite a different experience that I've had before, and being the sole responsible person for those decisions is something that I'm learning and getting better at. So, but I love the challenge.
Yeah, it's exciting. That's I think the hardest part about that is you're never really ready for it, because nobody really understands until they hold that position. No matter how much they support you, love even what your leadership, you can't comprehend a weight you haven't carried.
Correct.
And but the great thing, like you said, is you've got other general managers at the other courses. You got an owner who's got tons of experience, and so that's I'm excited for you and your family, and all the stuff you got going on in the future, and all the exciting things that are happening. And so, tell us, are you in social media world? Can people follow you there?
I am not. I'm personally off of social media.
I don't blame you.
Yeah. So I decided that a long time ago. But obviously Jacaranda has some handles, and, we pretty much post. Kathy does a great job posting everything on Facebook and our Instagram accounts. So, that's kind of how we're spreading.
All right. And we'll put all those links in the link below. And along with your wife's business, what's it called?
It's called Rough Rules.
Rough Rules.
Yep.
Awesome. Do you have? I need to go, but let me ask you: do you ever feel like she's treating you like one of her animals?
I make sure she doesn't do that. There's a fine line.
My wife was a first grade teacher, and every once in a while I'd say, "Steph, I'm not a first grader."
Exactly. I just have to give her a look, and she's like, "Oh, okay." But no, she actually does a really good job balancing everything that she has on her plate. I'm really proud of her, and she's doing a great job.
That's awesome. Well, it's been a great joy to talk to you. And again, congratulations on all that's happening in your life right now.
Thank you so much. Pleasure to be here.
All right. Hey, guys, I want to again thank you guys so much for tuning in. Remember, the podcast is on all the platforms, whether it's audio, whether it's video. Don't forget to pick up the book if you haven't. You can do me a great favor. It's actually on sale right now on Amazon, but you can pick it up at any of the places you buy books. Leave a review, whether you buy it at Barnes & Noble or Amazon, because it's all about the algorithm, right? Our heart is to partner with you so that you can reach your potential, become everything that God had in mind when he created you. So do all the stuff, right? Subscribe, share, and don't forget, Sunday nights at 7:00, we have a live stream. And if you want to follow any of our weekend teachings, just Potential Church. That's the handle.com is the website. And we'll catch you next time. You have an incredible, incredible day. God bless.